I'm Kerry Waring, and welcome to Kerry TV, your guide to create life with love, purpose, and mediumship. And in today's video, I'm answering a question from StartTide. It's about mediumship, and she asks, "Hello, Kerry. I've been watching your videos lately, and thank you so very much for posting this very valuable and helpful instruction. You definitely get down to the nitty-gritty of things. I do have a request for a video. Could you please talk about what might be happening for a developing medium like me who has been giving accurate spirit readings, then has 2 or 3 readings in a row that don't have good results? The link seems strong, the evidence comes in clearly, but no sitter speaks up to claim the spirit. I can understand this happening occasionally, but a string of them? This makes me begin to doubt myself just when I've finally developed some confidence. I know that I'm not the only one experiencing this and being discouraged by it, so I think it would make a useful video if you're willing to do it. Thanks again for the gift to all of us out here. And many blessings to you. And thank you, StarTide. It's an important question, and one that is quite a common experience for developing mediums, as you know, and including myself. So, and this really comes down to, it's a function of belief in what's happening, and more specifically, a lack of belief in yourself and your abilities. And this then will create experiences that validate that lack of belief. So firstly, work on improving your self-belief and your ability to do what you do and provide great mediumship. But what I would say to you is know that your reflections to the spirit world actually reflect who you are, your thoughts and beliefs. So whether you're consciously in that moment doubting yourself or not, on a soul level, that would be with you. And I know for me that that was my experience, you know, that I would often be challenged with spirit communicators not getting placed with recipients, whether it was in a group reading or whether it was a private reading. And it was really teaching me to battle through the no's and increase my belief to get that placement. And over the years, as my belief in myself and in my mediumship grew, then that experience minimized and no longer occurred. However, there are a couple of tips that I can offer you, because I know that once you start actually getting those no's, it can very quickly spiral for you, can't it? You know, and it can be a real challenge to actually come back from that. So one, I would say to you, firstly, persist, because I know that that information that you're getting is more than likely correct. But what the medium is doing is allowing the sitters and allowing the group to actually take control of the reading by saying no. So what I would suggest to you is, I have one tip that I use specifically in this instance, where I refer it back to spirit. So if, for example, you're actually doing a group or even a private reading and the spirit communicator is not being placed, so you've given out some information. Firstly, at that point, when you're giving out information to identify the spirit, the first thing that I will do is make sure you give out a lot of information, not just 2 or 3 points. And that's one of the things that I actually see lacking in mediums right now, is that they're throwing it to the audience too soon. Okay, so really build a picture. You know, don't just start with, you know, it's a man and he passed from this, or, you know, build a whole story around him before you actually throw it to the audience. The more information you can give out before you throw it to the audience, the more specific it will be, and therefore it minimizes who can take it. Okay, so and it will eradicate those ones sitting in the audience saying, oh, I need more information, I'm not sure whether that's, you know, my loved one or not. So that would be the first point, is to don't throw it out to the audience to the sitters too soon. Keep working with spirit to bring through that information, additional information, and a lot of information. Secondly, if you've done that, so if you've provided a lot of information about identifying the spirit and it's still a no, then at this instance, don't look to the audience to place your spirit. Don't look to them. Refer it back to the spirit world. Refer it back to the communicator that you have and say to them, hey, you know, no one's understanding who you are at this point. Please tell me a little bit about the life and what's going on now for the person you want to connect with, the person that is in the room. Okay, this is information that I call proof of consciousness, and you'll find a lot of it in my book called A New Kind of Normal, Unlock the Medium Within, which is available on Amazon or my website. And you'll find that that criteria, which really proves the awareness of spirit and that they are watching from where they are, and they're really conscious of what's going on in the now. Okay, when we refer that information back to spirit and say, give me something that your loved one will recognize and know. Okay, when you push for that, you know, and that information can be that someone's just had a baby, that there's been an illness, that someone drives a red car, you know, that there is some sort of link, something really specific. And then that helps you narrow in who the sitter is, okay? And whether or not they, at that point, can identify with your love, with the spirit communicator or not, you have a piece of information that they will relate to. And I know this is one of the tools that I use in the moment doing a reading when that is occurring for me. And you'll often find it just shifts the whole reading, and you'll find then that the relevance starts to come in and the block of the nose starts to fall away. Okay, so I will just persist, because what's happening is the belief that the information is not valid, when it absolutely is. You just haven't found a home for it, you know. So pushed for that proof of consciousness, that relevance for the thing in the room. You know, it can be like, it might be that someone's got a particular tattoo, or, you know, anything along those lines that your spirit can tell you about who they want to connect with. That's at the point to push for that and trust in that you'll get the yes. And the more that you work with that, the better you'll get at it. Okay. And lastly, I would say to you is know that a component of many good readings is when information is not currently known by this recipient. You know, it's that information that when they walk away and have it validated later, that they're going to turn around and say, how could she know that? How could they really know that if I didn't even know it? And I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I was doing a group reading and connecting with two sister-in-laws, I think, at the time, married to brothers, connecting with their mother-in-law. And they were saying yes to her, but she started to mention a gentleman by the name of Fred. And she didn't like him. She didn't want to hang out with him in the spirit world. He was in spirit. And they said to me they knew a Fred, but he was in the living. He hadn't passed away. He confirmed for me a funeral. And then I said to them, you need to take this on board and check. And they walked away and went and found out that, yes, Fred had passed away and they just did not know. So sometimes you've got to allow for that. You've got to allow for the fact that sometimes the best readings are those that are validated later. And it really isn't about the medium having their information validated all the time in the moment. You know, so because it's more about how spirit needs to bring it through and what needs to happen for the recipients and their families. You know, so I would say trust and believe in yourself, trust and believe in your mediumship, and then you'll find that experience of not being able to place your spirit communicators will minimize. So I hope that's very helpful for you, StartTide, and for other mediums out there. And please, if you have any questions regarding mediumship, creating life with love and purpose, then please visit my website, drop a comment here on this video. I'd only be too happy to help you out with a video too, and have a great week. Thank you.